Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17 bringing you a review of Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Probably the weirdest and longest title of the year, I would assume. But how is the movie? Because everyone is already wanting to know, and already people are planning polls on their side of how they want this movie to be received. Okay, so let me put this out. I'm not going to help. I'm absolutely not going to help this thing. But I will say, it's okay. It's better than Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad by far, and Justice League. However, it is not better than Shazam, Aquaman, Joker, Wonder Woman, or Man of Steel, I would say. It is definitely the weaker, but it is consistent in a majority of the film, where then the last act literally falls apart. So let me get to this. This movie is directed by Cathy Yan, actually produced by Margot Robbie, which is, again, awesome for her. You can tell she put a lot of effort into her performance, into how her character reacts, just a lot of little things that just help make her character stand out in this movie. It's honestly pretty good just on her character standpoint. We're just talking about Harley Quinn as a character. For the most part, it's really good. In a live action sense, it's again a fantastic Harley Quinn performance, but not the best, and I'll get into that at the very end of this review. Other people in this is Mary Elizabeth Winstead from 10 Cloverfield Lane, my personal favorite, one of my favorite movies of a couple years past. And people got really mad when I said it was better than Batman vs. Superman, but lo and behold, I still remember that movie, and I really hate the other. Jernay Smollett-Bell, Rosie Perez, Chris Missani, and also Ewan McGregor. Cinematography also by Matthew Labatik, and I want to point that out specifically because the action sequences in this movie are fantastic. I'm not even joking. The highlight is the police station and everything that goes down in there. It is on point. There's everything you can see. Everything is a nice shot where you can just see every hit, every bump, every bruise, and it's really well done. It actually kind of reminded me a little bit of John Wick 3, because a lot of movies tend to cover it up, and honestly, I thought the action in this was more choreographed than, let's say, something like Bad Boys. So again, if you're in for an action sense, this might do it, though I will say the police station is the middle part of the movie, and we'll get to that third act. Oh boy, that third act. Ewan McGregor is the villain of this, essentially wants something that Harley Quinn can maybe help him get. We'll see about that, but knowing Harley Quinn, she has many things going on in her head, and that's how this movie's played. It's more her recounting the events of this. And unfortunately, the reliable narrator aspect of this movie is not great. It's something that I felt was an issue with, because sure, the first half of this movie does a fantastic job of that unreliable narrator section of it, but the second half, or maybe the last act of this movie, they almost drop it completely, and it just makes the movie suffer because it becomes a boring superhero film, at least to me. Now, let me be 100% clear on this movie. I do not think this is a bad movie. I think it's an okay movie. It has great action. The music is actually pretty good in this. I like some of the remixes of songs they put into this. Again, Ewan McGregor as the villain, really good. Again, you could say that maybe he doesn't have a ton of motivation in this. And it's funny because actually Margot Robbie's, again, playing Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn essentially points it out during the film, like, I don't remember why he's mad at me. And that's kind of an issue because you want there to be a rivalry between the two. And I guess you could say because she's Joker's girlfriend, she ran rampant with other gangs, but Joker was always there to be like, you don't touch. And I understand you don't want Joker pissed off at you. How about this? At least the Joker from the Joker movie, not Joker from Suicide Squad. But moving on from that, the point of this is when she gets off Joker's protection, things go downhill pretty quick. Now, the other thing about this movie is it's called Birds of Prey. How does it deal with the other characters? Well, funny enough, unless I'm mistaken, Montoya's in this, and she was a cop that at least I first saw, and I thought she came, again, it could be very wrong, from the Batman the Animated Series. And again, she was a side character. Honestly, not much to her in other media. I know she, I believe, popped up with Bullet in Batman Arkham Origins and a few other Arkham games, like actually Black Mask, who weirdly enough, I feel like some people have a relationship, like, really focused on his character, but in, like, that sense, like, he was so upstaged by the Joker that I think no one really cared. Like, and that's my problem with Black Mask. He's always a character like, okay, he looks intimidating, but it seems like in the DC universe, every time I see him in the animated show and everything else, he's played for a joke. So I don't know if this is a running thing, but I'll say this, Ian McGregor does a really good job at least playing a sociopath, kind of crazy mob boss. Also, Victor Zsasz, of all the side characters you got right. You got Victor Zsasz right, being a manipulative killer who takes pleasure in murdering and kind of manipulating others. Again, didn't expect that in this movie, but hey, you got that until the is ending, sort of, kinda. Again, Victor Zsasz is known for a certain thing, and the weapon he last uses, spoiler, but not really, in this movie is not his signature weapon. So I'm like, I feel like you should be threatening people with something else and be good at something else, specifically as the reason you're known for. But again, that's the problem with this movie. Every good thing, like the action, the music, some of the performances. Also, Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress, great. I kind of like Black Canary, and I don't think Cassandra Cain was all that bad. The problem is also the writing in this movie. There's some really generic stuff, and I get it. They try to make fun of it, like Montoya is saying 80s cop lines. Fine. But you can only make fun of it for so long before it starts getting tedious and boring. And also, I will take note that some backstory makes sense and I really like Huntress. They played it well. Black Canary, they don't have time for that because they have to focus on Harley Quinn, which is why I don't really say this is a Birds of Prey movie, because they spend very little time on each of the three. Probably Montoya gets the most, and she has her own problems. Again, I like them casting an older woman and having her more experience. That kind of fits with the Batman mythos, if that is the case. But my problem with it is they have her doing a lot of physical fighting. And at first it says a joke and then actually gets serious. And you're like, this isn't working. Again, I'm not trying to be overly negative, but I just don't. Out of everyone there, she's the weird one in terms of fights, where I think she would be better in terms of shooting and kind of covering them in tactics. But who knows? Maybe, again, that's how they used her in this. Also, the plot in the second half, to put in perspective, at least the moment I thought, Harley gets hit. I will just say that. She gets hit, and she may be going in and out of something. When that happened, when that is over, the movie just started plummeting for me in terms of interest and awesome moments, stuff like that. Again, it feels like they've removed the insanity. They were going Deadpool light in the first half, and I thought they were going to continue and actually, like, kind of push that rated R rating, but they really don't. This isn't a hard R. This is more of a light R. They kind of get it through some of the swearing and some of the bone breaking in this movie, which is probably some of the best parts. Again, the action sequences are great for what they are, and I really, really enjoyed Harley Quinn, Huntress, and other characters for the moments. And again, they have some funny moments, but once again, it feels like they're playing homage to Deadpool. They're taking a lot of stuff from Deadpool and trying to put this in this movie, which doesn't necessarily work because the zany aspect goes through the entire movie of Deadpool into a climax that literally has him having a remix in his head that's off because of the knife in his head. Just pointing that out. But in this movie, they take it more serious, and it doesn't work. It becomes a standard superhero affair that is something from, I don't know, Venom or something like that, where it just becomes more and more bad. There's still highlights, there's still good moments and good action sequences. If you're expecting Deadpool, it's not. It is zany and stuff like that, and I feel like a lot of people are saying to get high for this. Sure, maybe that first half, absolutely, but it's not that crazy. It's not that off the wall. The first half is, but the second half, it loses it. And again, it becomes very tropey, very generic. They do really dumb things. There's literally a scene in this that literally everyone rolled their eyes at, being, are you kidding me? They can't be that dumb. The animated Harley Quinn on DC Universe, I think it's called, is infinitely better than this because it's more consistent in its tone, in its characters. It fleshes them out. It makes them unique. It actually shows the Joker, for the most part. But in any case, the goal of this movie is they insert it into the DC Universe, but DC Universe, except when it's very small, it works. When it tries to expand, the entire time you're like, where's any heroes on this? Where is anyone in this movie? And again, the pacing and just some of the things that go on toward the second half, it becomes boring and tedious because they take it more seriously. When it's off the wall crazy in action, it's fine, but the second half definitely falters a lot. And again, just jumps in logic for certain characters to allow certain things. So if I had to give a rating for every positive or negative in this movie, and I have to give it a 5 out of 10, it's by far not the worst DC movie. So if anyone's saying that, they're complete horseshit. Dawn of Justice and Justice League and Suicide Squad are infinitely worse than this movie. But it is not as good as Wonder Woman. It's not as good as last year's Shazam. And it's definitely not as good as Joker. Though, in my opinion, Joker didn't nail Joker until maybe the last 5 minutes of the movie. Harley Quinn is thoroughly Harley Quinn through the entirety of the movie. So if you're looking for a Harley Quinn movie, you're going to be probably more entranced by this movie than someone saying, I really want a Joker movie, and them going to see Joker, and the only thing they get is, like I said, in the last probably 5-10 minutes. And honestly, it's not the character, it's the world impact of the character that they nail so much. I don't think it's a bad movie, and I don't think it's a good movie. I think it's an okay movie. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of this movie. And by the way, once again, I will reiterate, if you want an amazing Harley Quinn show in general, the animated one is the way to go. In case, guys, greyshot17, and I'll see you all next time.
Hello everyone, this is Greyshot. Before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Josh, Milam, Joey G240, Just Thomas Plays, Spartycus, Rifle, JrChicklis, Pyroshark, Ollie, Ace, GTA, and Jakub Osweight. Thank you all for your incredible support. This has been Greyshot17 and his amazing patrons, and I'll see you all next time.